One really big challenge when it comes to speaking a foreign language is understanding the difference between what's called prescriptive and descriptive pronunciation or grammar, where prescriptive refers to how you're supposed to say something according to the rules, what's prescribed, basically, right? And it's usually how people speak when they isolate individual words. Descriptive pronunciation, on the other hand, represents the way that we speak the language day to day, kind of pushing words together and modifying the rules, often going against what you might think based on the spelling. Especially in American English, which is a language with really particular spelling patterns, meaning not all the letters are produced one-to-one consistently in the same way. It will very much depend on its environment. And these different environments will create what we call allophones, which is just a fancy term for variations of sounds produced by one single letter. So one letter, many sounds. One thing that you can do to enhance your accent in English, or any language really, is to identify the most prominent allophones of letters that you're starting to get familiar with, maybe solidifying certain things. For example, you may already know that a word that begins with an R in Spanish or in Italian will get trilled. So you might say rojo or Roma, but the same exact R, just one R between vowel sounds, is flipped or just a tap, like in the word pero or loro. So these allophonic variations are not always widely shared or even known at all when it comes to language instruction. Plus, pronunciation isn't always the priority, right, in every language program, leaving many to treat those foreign letters just like they would the same or the most similar letter or sound in their native language. So then the problem to deal with when it comes to mastering an accent isn't just learning to produce seemingly impossible new sounds. Secretly, it's knowing that the sounds that we've just accepted as the same are actually noticeably and tangibly different. We see a T in a foreign language and we just assume that it's a T, right? It is, after all, the same T. We use our T because it's the closest that we got. But what if we could pinpoint exactly what the allophones of T were? All 7 of them. And what if we understood which environments they found themselves? The first T sound that we'll remind you about is what I call the tennis T. Tennis T. You can hear that. This is an aspirated initial T sound that often comes out like kind of like a T and an S pushed together. T, t. Depending on the speaker, of course. Some people have more breathy T's than others. But think of the words to, take, ten. We also use this T when we initiate the stressed syllable. So you might have words like between or until, where they're in the middle of the word and we're still doing this tennis T. Again, this is produced with the tip of our tongue, the very, very tip of your tongue behind your teeth, which are usually closed, by the way. And that extra puff of air makes a difference. T. To compare, we're going to listen to the beautiful Colombian accent of Sofia Vergara as she says the word 2 and 22.
And we each had like 2 bowls of pasta a day. It was like 22.
One more time.
Each had like 2 bowls of pasta a day. It was like 22.
All right, so 22 bowls of pasta. You can hear, of course, something slightly different here. Here she's using an unaspirated T, right? She speaks Spanish natively, that makes sense. But in fact, it even sounds like it's interdental, like her tongue is between her teeth. And you do that just by sliding your tongue forward, literally, and actually making contact with the blade of your tongue, which is just past the tongue tip, and what it does, it seals off all the air and it kind of makes this muted D sound. 22 bowls of pasta, 22. So this slight variation, of course, is noticeable.